Hey, what's up guys, Tady is here. Hope you're all doing well, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to increase FPS in Fortnite. Even with new heavy hitters like Apex Legends and COD Warzone, Fortnite still holds the one spot at today's premier battle royale. Streamers like Ninja and Few brought tremendous popularity to the game, and it continues to go from strength to strength. Unfortunately, it can get a little disheartening to watch the pros slay when you're still having a difficult time breaking into the final 10. If that's the case, it may be that you aren't getting enough FPS. Frame rate drops in competitive gaming and Fortnite in particular can all but destroy your chances at a victory royale. Why? Because your display will be missing critical split-second moments of the action. Fortunately, I have a solution. And don't worry, you don't have to be a tech savant to know how to get better FPS in Fortnite. You shouldn't have any trouble learning how to boost FPS in Fortnite with this simple step-by-step video. But before the video starts, I ask you to subscribe to the channel and like this video. This motivates me to do this channel. Upgrade your graphics card. It only makes sense that you want the beefiest GPU you can get your hands on. After all, it's doing most of the heavy lifting when it comes to processing games and generating images. Anything above an NVIDIA GTX 1660 should easily get Fortnite up to a perfectly respectable 144 FPS. This is the most direct and effective way to raise your FPS, but unfortunately, it's also the most expensive. GPUs have always been the priciest component in a good gaming PC. Professional tech reviewers often recommend that builders allocate 50% of their budget to graphics, but they're even more expensive now due to recent events. An upgrade may be the only path forward for some systems. But before you shell out hundreds, there are a handful of other paths to give you a little extra push without the price tag: overclocking. You might want to think about overclocking your current GPU if buying a replacement isn't in the cards. Overclocking is an excellent option when your GPU is close to the performance you're looking for and you're just trying to squeeze out those last few frames to get you where you need to be. It's a lot safer than it used to be, though you should know that it will still void a product's warranty in most cases. It's up to you to decide if the risk is worth the free boost in performance. There are many different ways to do it, but you should check out MSI Afterburner if you're looking for something simple. It's a pretty straightforward software that allows you to increase the frequency of your GPU and RAM. This gives them the juice they need to work harder and pump out those sweet frames. Internet connection. Not all lag-related issues stem from your computer. Your game can easily suffer from a poor internet connection. Hardlining your PC into your router with an Ethernet cable is the simplest and best thing you can do to increase your performance. If it's still too slow, you may have to consider upgrading your speed or switching providers. Best Fortnite settings for FPS. Maybe you're not interested in messing with your GPU? You like the one you have, and you don't want to tinker with power settings or potentially void a warranty. That's totally okay. You can boost your FPS by as much as 200% just by tinkering with a few settings. Resolution: 1920 x 1080. This is the big one. I know it can be tempting to game at maximum resolution if you have a 4K or 1440p monitor. You paid for all those pixels, so you want to use them, right? Well, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but higher resolutions are a lot more taxing on your GPU. Think of it this way: an image that's twice the size takes twice as long to make. Lowering to 1080p may give you the extra performance you need. You can even set it to a lower resolution if you want to see more FPS. That said, anything below 1080p is no longer high definition, and you will start to see noticeable drops in image quality. Frame rate limit: refresh rate of your monitor. This is an interesting one. Basically, your monitor can only show you so many images per second, no matter how many your GPU produces. This is called the monitor refresh rate. Check your monitor's specs and set your frame rate limit to match your monitor's refresh rate. Doing so means your GPU won't try to produce excess frames needlessly, thus boosting your performance. Not only that, but going above your monitor's refresh rate can cause stutters and FPS drops. Next, we're going to scroll down to your graphics quality settings. You don't want to use the auto set quality option. That would optimize your settings based on what Epic thinks is best based on your computer's hardware, not what would give you a competitive advantage. Instead, we're going to do this manually. 3D resolution, 100%. 3D resolution refers to the resolution of objects in the game. Technically, lowering this would raise your FPS, but that might do more harm than good. It's best to keep it where it is for now. You can always come back and lower it later. View distance, epic. You could gain some FPS by lowering this, but it's not worth the tactical advantage you would be sacrificing. Shadows, off. This is a big one. Shadows are one of the most taxing resources that your GPU has to contend with. Turning them off will give your card a significant boost without any real cost to your gameplay. Anti-aliasing, off. This smooths the edges on 3D objects so that you can't see the pixels. That said, you're unlikely to notice a difference unless you like to play with your nose an inch from the screen. Textures, low. Extra details on flat objects might look nice, but they don't do anything to improve your score. You probably won't even notice them if you've got your head on a swivel, looking for enemies. Might as well trade them in for a few extra frames. Effects, low. Earning this down trades a few details on objects for raw frame rates. Post-processing, low. Post-processing cleans up an image after it's been rendered. You probably won't even notice it's missing honestly. Might as well get some frames for it. Now to advanced graphics. VSync, off. VSync works to prevent screen tearing, but it lowers your FPS. Turn it off for now. You can always come back and turn it on if screen tearing becomes an issue. Motion blur, off. Motion blur doesn't hurt your FPS, but it doesn't help your gameplay either. It's also been known to cause nausea in some players. Better to turn it off. Show FPS, on. This will be how you monitor your new and improved FPS. You should turn it on for at least a couple of rounds to make sure the numbers are where they need to be. You can always turn it off afterward if it bothers you. DirectX version, DirectX 11. Leave this guy alone unless DirectX 11 isn't working well with your system for some reason. Allow multithreaded rendering, on. Keeping multithreaded rendering on will relieve a lot of the stress on your processing units, unless you have ancient hardware. Use GPU crash debugging, off. Only turn GPU crash debugging on if you're experiencing crashes. Otherwise, it's just taking up processing power. Optimizing Windows for Fortnite. But before that, I ask you to create a system restore point. If you want to return all the changed settings to the default values, then you can do this through the system restore point. So I recommend you to do this. All files to download will be listed in the description below this video. Let's start the optimization by disabling user account control. Click on the file twice and allow the change to be made to the system. Next, we optimize the power plan. To do this, we need to apply this file so that you can import power plan. After the import, it will appear in the power plan. You need to tick it to make it work. Next, I recommend that you disable hibernation and throttling of the system. This should save you from small freezes in the game. If you want to return the changed default settings, then I have left files that will enable hibernation and throttling. After that, we optimize NVIDIA and AMD graphics cards. To set up NVIDIA, just read the instructions and do what it says. And for AMD, I left special files that will improve performance in the game. Next, do not forget to update and download all the necessary components for the game. Update your DirectX if you haven't already. Installation and updating is very simple. I think you'll figure it out on your own. Then be sure to disable Spectre and Meltdown. This 100% should add you a few frames per second in the game. Then files 5, 6, 7 clear the temporary cache of the system. Be sure to follow these procedures. To do this, you need to run them as an administrator. Then we turn off all unnecessary functions and telemetry of the system. Be sure to run this program as an administrator. This program will clear all temporarily stored system devices. It won't hurt your system, don't worry. And the last file disables box gamber, full screen optimization. After that, go to Windows settings and turn off the parameters that I have disabled. After you've finished optimizing both your PC and Fortnite, make sure to restart your PC. Well, that's all for me. I hope I helped you. If yes, then I ask you to subscribe to the channel and like this video. This inspires me to create new videos for you. See you soon, friends.